Hey guys, welcome to the channel. As you see in the thumbnail, what if Issei had Draig since he born? Before I start, please do support for more awesome content and subscribe my channel and like this video. Go support and follow the NOSFERATU869 for writing that awesome fanfic, and also make sure to comment on this story, link in the description. Let's start this video. The loud groan was heard in a certain adolescent's bedroom. Ice. Honey, wake up. It's time for school. Yes, mama. The mother of said adolescent called him out from behind his bedroom door. He slowly got up with heavily disheveled hair and yawned loudly. He stood and looked at himself in his full-body mirror standing against the wall while he scratched his ass lazily. He looked at himself with half-opened eyes. He was a tall young boy with a strong, toned, muscle-ridden body, brown messy hair, bright golden or yellowish-colored eyes, a few sharp teeth, and a long vertical scar on the right side of his chest that lead up to his shoulder and touched the very bottom of the right side of his chin. He scratched lightly at the scar on his chest. "That hurt, you know." He said that, randomly speaking to absolutely nobody in particular. "Yes, partner. Good morning to you as well." Aside from his spiritual companion known as Draig, the Red Dragon Emperor sealed into the sacred gear known as the Boosted Gear. This boy was indeed the current generation Security. Whether or not you considered that a bad thing would be up to you. However, if you were to say that it was a good thing, you would be wrong. The boy yawned once more as he headed out of his room and into his bathroom. Soon enough, noises were heard. Things like flushing the bathroom and washing hands and face. Until the buzzing of an electric toothbrush. Gurgling of water. Spitting. Chewing toothpaste. Choking. And vomiting. Flush. The boy stepped out from his bathroom feeling an even more empty stomach than before. This was the third time he attempted to digest the cherry-flavored toothpaste. "Ah, Ice. There you are. Breakfast is ready." "Thanks, mama." "Morning, pops." "Morning, boy." The boy known as Issei sat down at the table with his father, who was sitting across from him reading a newspaper. His mother was setting the table with food and when she had finally finished, sat down with the both of them and began eating. Normally, Issei would be questioning his father for still reading a newspaper rather than watching TV or using an electronic device in their current age, but instead he was heavily stuffing his face with food. "You seem hungry. Did you try to eat the toothpaste again?" Issei continued eating while his mother and father sighed heavily. "We really should stop buying him the nice tasting flavors." "No, we can't. If we do that he just won't brush his teeth." Sigh. Both parents sighed. Unfortunately, above all things concerning their son, the most important of all was that he was an idiot. An idiot. A true imbecile. That was the boy known as Issei. Since birth he was a stupid boy. For many years it was hard to tell whether he was actually dumb or not. He was just a boy after all. However, it became quite apparent once he was able to speak. Issei had once approached a mother at a park he was playing at. His approach was a bit inappropriate. He had grabbed her plump bottom. Wah. Of course she noticed the small adorable boy behind, staring up at her. He donned a bright goofy smile when their eyes met. "One Issei is really pretty." The woman couldn't help but smile at the boy's innocence. But she smells bad. He had said that out loud with no reservation. With the same stupid smile on his face. His parents could only deeply apologize after the fact while Issei only looked on in confusion. At first they just assumed he was socially inept. So it was pretty great when he finally obtained a childhood best friend. Of course, this is when his stupidity finally came to light during bath time at his house with said friend. He came running out of the bathroom naked and afraid. "Mama. Pops. Rin's pee-pee is gone." The parents looked at each other in confusion until his mother addressed him. "Ice honey, Rin is a girl. She doesn't have one." "What? But mama is a girl." "Of course I am. So then how can Rin be a girl if mama is a girl?" "Ice mommy isn't the only girl in the world, you know. There are more." You would assume that maybe since he was a child he still wouldn't understand the concept of gender or sex. But he was 6 years old at the time and on top of that he already knew that Rin wasn't a boy but something else. He just didn't know what that something else was. RRR. Issei quickly stood from his chair and began to head out. "Bye mama. Bye pops. I'm heading to school. Have a nice day. Don't cause trouble for anyone, boy." Akin. Issei ran out the door and slammed it shut behind him, leaving his parents alone. He forgot his bag. "Just give him a moment, Ka-san. He's not coming back, dear." Sigh. RRR. Be careful out there, honey. You know he runs to school. Akin. Guo Academy. After Issei's father finally caught up with his unreasonably fast son and handed him his bag, said son bolted to his school like usual. When he arrived, many students were flooding in the gates, a majority of them being women. Now, Issei knows what a woman is. He knows that they are the ones who have babies and also nice legs and butts. He also knew that he liked them and not boys. He didn't know for sure when he was young. When he was young, he once said that he wanted to test it out, to which his father turned into stone after hearing. His mother later had a long talk with him. Luckily, he now knows women are attractive to him. Boy, ice. Yo, ice, morning. Unfortunately, because of this he is now associated with the school's most infamous perverts. Morning Mitsuda. Motohama. You see, it went a bit like this. One day in an ordinary middle school. Yo, new kid. Hey you're the new kid, right? Issei was approached at his desk by two unknown boys who were apparently in his class. Yeah, I had to come to this school instead because the other school I was gonna go to was too far from my house. He answered with enthusiasm. In truth, he was a very sociable and friendly boy, but it was mostly because he was too dumb to know what was mean or nice. Well, enough about that. Say, what type of women do you like? The boy known as Mitsuda asked Issei with no regard for the stares of other students around them. Issei answered with the same regard. I like all women. The ho-ho. A man of simple taste who does not discriminate. A rare existence indeed, boy. But I can respect that. The other boy, known as Motohama, complimented Issei while pushing up his glasses. Then, seemingly out of nowhere, Motohama pulled a porn magazine out of his uniform coat. But now is the time where we pinpoint our tastes and chase after our dreams. The students around them sneered at their actions or were simply disgusted. Issei tilted his head in confusion. What is that? Treasure, my boy. No, it's not. That's a dirty old man book. Ah, young one. That's a misconception. Everyone knows that the #1 customer for such treasures like these are young adolescent boys like us. And to say that anything is wrong about that is only denying the truth. We are the healthy ones. Anyone else is just lying to themselves. I don't really get it, but isn't it just a book with a lot of pictures of women in it? Yes, exactly. But now just any woman. And not just any pictures either. This is the material which surpasses all. I don't really get it. Why get a book of women if there are women everywhere? The ho-ho. Now. Calm down, young one. I understand that you are an eager young one, but we can't just go chasing women just yet. First, we must educate ourselves in the ways of the Turs. Don't you mean masters? Yes. I still don't get it. You don't chase women. You're only supposed to chase people if you're playing tag. And I'm older than you guys, I think. So why do you want to look at pictures of women? That's why you're still the young one, boy. You don't understand yet, but worry not. We shall show you the way. We will teach you everything you need to know. No thanks. We already have senseis, so I don't need you to. No, that's not really what I meant. But you said you'll teach me. Yes, but whatever. In any case, become our friend, nay, our comrade. Okay. I've never had a comrade. What's your name, kid? Hi, do Issei. But mama and pops call me Ice. I see. Welcome to the club, Ice. Asp. You guys are in a club. No, that's not what we meant. We aren't. Oh. Okay. Then would you say that? And with that, the perverted trio was formed. Or actually, it wasn't the perverted trio, you see. Once they became friends, their first objective was to educate Issei in the ways of perverts. Which was practically a fruitless effort because of how stupid he was. Nevertheless, Mitsuda and Motohama are very stubborn. They vowed to convert Issei properly. To make him understand the wonders of the world involving women. No matter how hard it was. They would very much regret that vow. That aside, their next objective was to enter a special school and obtain their harems. They would do this by applying to a newly co-ed school that was just switching from all girls to co-ed that year. As Motohama calculated, the ratio of girls to boys had to be at least 5:1. And that was a humble estimate. So with excitement, they took the entrance exam for that prestigious school. It proved, with no surprise, to be extremely difficult for the two perverts. For Issei, however, it was not that difficult. For some odd reason Issei was always good with school, aside from maths, since he sucks with numbers. He never really understood difficult subjects, but when it came to school, he always retained average or above grades. It is a phenomenon that no scientist can explain. Some would even consider it one of the world's 10 wonders. 10. Yes, because again, Issei is not good with numbers. Anyway, they all ended up passing and attending Kuo Academy. Unfortunately, it seemed that Mitsuda and Motohama ended up attending with a little too much enthusiasm, and as a result, their perverted antics did not go unnoticed. They quickly earned the name Perverted Trio. This name did not last long because it was soon taken into account that Issei was not very involved when it came to the antics. Or at least not the way his friends hoped. Every time they found a peaking spot or talked about a certain girl in some way, Issei would go and confess to them on their behalf or just tell them where the spot was, oblivious to the consequences. Because of that, Issei was simply considered the innocent fool who the perverted duo kept around for unknown reasons. A lot of people even found it endearing because of how nice he was. He would help out with literally anything you asked him to. A majority of the time, it's the sports teams asking him for help since, for some reason, he is unbelievably fit and adept at sports. His body is ridiculously built and he wins at any game he plays. Many sports clubs and teams fight to have him join their teams, but he always declines. He says it's boring winning that easily. So he never joins any teams, much to their dismay. Even so, almost every team asks him to help with practice, which he always does. They also always lose, but because of how good he is, it works for practice either way. And it goes without saying that the best grade he has in school is physical education, with the highest grade possible, due to constantly doing even more than asked, usually by mistake. In the end, Issei usually isn't included with the perverted duo's reputation. He's just kind of considered their unhelpful sidekick. Nah, Issei, did you know? Motohama and I found a new special spot that we could use. Mitsuda said that with his arm around Issei's shoulder and leaning in to whisper. Where is it? Now, Ice, listen closely. You can't rat us out this time, you hear? No telling. This is a secret. A secret between men. You got it? Asp. Is it like a super secret secret? Yes. A super duper secret. Ooh. Issei hummed in amazement. He had never been told of a super duper secret before. Ah. Shit. Mitsuda. K&M is approaching at 6 o'clock. Ah. Crap. We'll see you in class, Ice. Mitsuda and Motohama sped off towards the main building in fear. Issei looked around. 6 o'clock is behind you, Yus-kun. Issei turned around and faced two girls. One with pink short hair and one with brown pigtail hair. Ah, Cadis. Well, obviously it is, it's not 6, it's 7. Issei, good morning to you too, Ice-kun. The girl known as Cadis sighed while rubbing her temples. Meanwhile Murayama just greeted with a giggle. Hahaha. Good morning, Ice-kun. Ah, mornin' Murayama. So, Ice-kun, what were you talking about with Tweedledee and Tweedledum? We were talking about something secret, so I can't tell you guys. Issei said that with his chest puffed with pride. He had never been entrusted with a super duper secret. Murayama then used her skills and questioned him to spill the beans. Yeah? Really? What type of secret? A super duper secret. A secret between men. No way. Yup. So that's why I can't tell you guys because you're a woman. Oh really? But wait, Ice-kun. If it's a secret between men, then how can it be a super duper secret? It can't be both. Eh? Yeah, Ice-kun, it has to be one or the other, right? Then it has to be the first one, right? Why yeah. It's the first one. It's a super duper secret. Ah, I see. In that case, it's not a secret between men, huh? So you can tell us then. Oh, I guess you're right. Yeah. Well, Mitsuda and Motohama told me that they found a new special spot and that it was secret, so I shouldn't tell anyone. But it's a secret. A super duper secret. So don't tell anyone, okay? Got it? You too, Ice-kun. You can't tell anyone, okay? It's a super duper secret, so don't tell anyone, okay? Yeah. Okay. See you in class. Yeah. Issei ran off with that towards their classroom with abnormal speed while waving back at them. Murayama smiled kindly and waved. Cadis had an awkward smile on her face while she waved slowly. See, Cadis? I told you. He's a nice boy. If he wasn't, then everybody wouldn't be asking him for help, you know. He's not the brightest bulb, but he is the cleanest. You say that, but I still can't help but feel that he may just be putting up an act to cover for himself. No, if that was the case, then why would he help so many people? He can act dumb, but there's no point in being nice. Well, if you're devoted enough. Addis, no one helps sports teams get to regionals till he passes out twice a day at school. Especially for an act. Maybe you're right. Ding dong ding dong 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 ding ding. Ah, we should get to class. Yeah. The girls made their way to their class. Little did they know that their interaction with Issei was being watched. Because Issei has become a point of interest for two special individuals. They were viewing from up on the 3rd floor of the main building as Issei proceeded up the stairs to the 2nd floor where his class resides. What do you think about Sona? The red-headed beauty asked her black-haired friend. They were both watching Issei until he was no longer visible from their position against a railing. Yes, I hardly noticed it a year before despite knowing of him, but now it feels a bit more distinct. Such an aura is unmistakable. He most definitely possesses a sacred gear. Either a very powerful one or he has become skilled enough at using it to surpass normal humans. Have you met him before? Only once before. He lended a hand to the student council last year for the school festival. Though, I had no solid interaction with him. I may have to introduce myself. Reed said that with an intrigued look. Hold on Riaz, you can't just go recruiting without a thought. Remember what we talked about. I know Sona, don't worry. Just need to have a chat with him. For safety purposes. He is in my territory after all. Very well. Let me know what happens. Try not to seem aggressive. Yes. I know. The two conspicuous devils, known as Riaz Gremory and Sona Citri, headed off to their class with that. Well, either way, they would never expect what was going to happen. Issei was laying his head on his desk lazily. He had to help the volleyball team practice after school, which was the only thing he was really looking forward to. Though, it would keep him after school a bit longer. He doesn't mind. Issei is a nice boy in the end. His mentality towards helping people is always if it doesn't hurt anybody, then why not? Or if it makes somebody happy and nobody else unhappy, then why not? So, as per their agreement, Issei is saving his strength for their practice. They told him to do that initially, but they did not mean it literally. Issei, however, took it that way. So now he was resting for some reason. And the volleyball is going to regret phrasing themselves that way because if someone else ever tells him to conserve his energy, he automatically assumes that you want to go all out the moment you start playing anything. And he will dominate you. Boy, Ice, it's time. Issei lifted his head when he heard the voice of his friend Motohama and looked up to see both perverts instead. Let's go. Issei could only stare at them in amazement because of their serious faces. It looked like one of those times when he was watching a comedy anime and for some reason they had a gag where the art style would change from goofy to masterfully drawn in order to parody serious fighting anime. Haha. Mitsuda and Motohama really are my favorite characters. We'll take that as a compliment. BXD. Oh ho ho. Sayori has such nice melons. 85, 72, 81. The three boys were sitting outside on the backside of the kendo building. Mitsuda and Motohama were spying into a small circular hole with their faces pressed together for staring purposes. Issei was simply sitting with his arms and legs crossed and a thoughtful look on his face. Or at least a strained look, since it's kind of hard for him to think. All in all, he seemed conflicted about something. You know guys, something about this feels wrong. Why am I lookout? Why do you need to look out? And right now aren't you peeping? Isn't this peeping? Ah. Not quite right Ice. We are not peeping. We are peeking. Remember, this is peeking because we're looking into the small hole, you know. Like when you peek into a door. So we're peeking. Peeping is for dirty old men. Is that so? Issei tilted his head as he began to think hard on what he'd just been told. Murayama's legs are really smooth. Ah, Caddis has a nice butt too. Issei gasped. Grip grip. Next thing they knew, the perverts were floating a bit above the ground. They were being held up in the air by their collars. Issei was holding them up with ease. He looked at them with a stern look on his face. Hey. Wait a second. That's not right. This is peeping. Murayama and Caddis said so. If Murayama and Caddis are around that means it's peeping. What? But Murayama and Caddis are always around. It's their club dipshio. Mitsuda realized the mastermind plan that the girls came up with in order to use Issei as a guard dog. Humph. Issei dropped the boys onto the grass. Knock knock. Issei knocked twice against the wall despite the fact that they probably wouldn't hear it. Instead they heard his voice from the other side of the wall thanks to the small hole near his legs. Caddis. Murayama. Are you there? Is this peeping? Wah. Wah Ice. The two perverts freaked. Some rustling and thumping noises were heard from behind the wall. Then voices. The perverts. They're here. Hey Ice-kun, where are you? He knocked again. I'm out here. There's a little hole down here. Caddis looked towards the wall and noticed the small hole. She ran towards it with only her underwear on and put her eye against the hole. But she only saw black because Issei's pants were covering the hole. Ice-kun? Where are you? Ah, I'm right here. I can't see you. Look through the hole. I can't. Why? Because that's peeping. Sigh. Hold on, stay there. Caddis sighed and quickly got dressed while most of her female colleagues were already dressed and ready to beat down the perverts. Unfortunately for them, when they ran outside Issei was still standing in the same position staring at the wall, alone. Ice-kun? Where are the other two? They ran away. Why would you let them get away? You told me to stay here. Sigh, why must you be like this Ice-kun? Did you at least see which direction they headed? No. But they went west, towards the old school building I think. Huh? How do you know that? Because that's the direction they ran off in. I thought you didn't see it. I didn't. Caddis groaned in frustration. Murayama came up from behind her and put a hand on her shoulder. Thanks, Ice-kun. Go get 'em girls. Yes. Murayama sent the girls off to hunt the two perverts. You can stop staring at the wall, Ice-kun. Issei finally moved away from the wall. By the way, Ice-kun. You know, if you ever want to peek, you can just ask. Murayama said that with a cute smile and a finger pressed against her. A small blush evident on her playful expression. Ah, no. I can't. If it's Murayama then it's peeping. You already told me that. Issei said it as if it was a matter of fact. Sigh. Why Ice-kun? Because you said so. No, never mind. You can go to Ice-kun. Okay. Issei turned on his heel and slowly walked away instead of running like he usually does. Ice-kun. Why are you walking so slow? I have to conserve my energy for the volleyball match after school. Oh, I see. It took Issei about a full minute to escape their line of sight. BXD. Issei was walking home from school like usual. Only now it was sunset because he spent his time after school helping the volleyball team. Or more accurately, he spent his time absolutely destroying them. Barely had no chance. Like always. Meanwhile, Issei was just having the time of his life taking the teams on by himself. What? Did you think he had teammates? Ha. Issei thinks that's unfair, so he doesn't allow teammates on his side. And yet he still takes on a team of 6. And wins. They will never know why. Suddenly, a voice called out. Ayano. Paku. Ayano. Paku. Issei continued walking. Excuse me. When he turned, he saw a beautiful young girl around his age wearing a uniform he didn't recognize. She had long black hair and magenta-colored eyes. Issei stared at her for a bit with a tired face. Oh no. Issei looked around the bridge until he noticed no one else was there. Then he turned back to her and pointed at himself. Me? He looked surprised. Usually when pretty girls called out to him it was at school and they needed a favor. Yes, you're Haidu Issei, right? Yeah, are you psychic? What? And no, I just heard about you from a friend that goes to your school. Oh, was it Kadis or Murayama? Are they testing me again? Issei? No. It was someone else. Anyway, it's not important. I've seen you pass by here and I thought that maybe if you weren't seeing anyone would you like to go out with me? The girl confessed with a deep blush on her face. Issei answered almost immediately. No thanks. My mom said I can't date anybody until I'm 17. Sorry. But that Issei turned and began to walk away. He stopped at the end of the bridge and spoke once more before leaving. You know, even if you are a fallen angel you shouldn't lie to people. It's still wrong. He walked off, leaving the poor girl alone. The old school building. The door opened to reveal a petite white-haired girl entering a room with a red head, Ria's, at her desk. Ah, Kaneko. You're back. How was it? Did you discover anything? Yes, but you. He made contact with a fallen angel. She tried to lure him into going on a date. I see. Did you hear when? He said no. He said no. The look of surprise was on Ria's face. Oh, I see. I was expecting him to accept. So it seems it was true. He really isn't the same as his two friends. But either way, I don't think that fallen will be giving up anytime soon. Ria's crossed her hands and started thinking. After a few moments of contemplation she spoke. Well, in that case, keep observing him. Try to observe him out of class and most especially when he heads home. If anything happens, contact me immediately. Yes, but you. Haidu household. I'm home. Issei entered his home and took off his shoes. Welcome home. He was greeted by his mother in the kitchen. He could smell dinner already and started drooling. But he stopped in his tracks when he suddenly realized something. Ah. Haidu Issei is 17 years old. BXD. Another normal school day passed for Issei. He was walking home from school just like usual. Once again on the bridge he was stopped. Oh no. He turned around to see the same girl as yesterday. Oh, it's you. Yes. Sorry about yesterday, turns out I'm actually 17. Her eyes lit up. But I still can't date you because Mitsuda and Motohama said I wasn't allowed to before them. Either way, it would make them sad so I can't. Ah. They stood there in silence for a couple minutes. Can we at least still hang out? Okay. Yes. Then let's meet up this Sunday. Here's my number. Okay. The girl took out a piece of paper with her information and handed it to Issei. She started running away excitedly. Bye-bye Ice-kun. See you Sunday. Okay. Ah, what was her name? It was written on the paper in his hand. Oh, it's Yuma. What kind of name is that for a fallen angel? Sunday. Issei was standing next to a light post waiting for Yuma to show up. He was dressed in casual clothes. A red shirt, blue jeans and his regular shoes. That's it. For a date he is horribly underdressed. Of course he is. Because to him this isn't a date. It's just hanging out with a new friend. Their last conversation was on text and went a bit like this. Why? I can't wait for our date, Issei-kun. Who is this? Why? It's me, Yuma. Oh. Date. I thought we were just hanging out. If it's a date then I can't go. Why? No. Sorry, not a date. Forget I said that. See you Sunday. Okay. After that they decide on time and place. So here Issei was waiting for his new friend. You should have seen his parents' faces when they heard about it. So yeah, this Sunday I'm going to be hanging out with a new friend I met. The two parents were frozen with their mouths agape staring at Issei. You just say that you have a date on Sunday. No. It's just hanging out. She just asked me out at first, but I said no because mom said I shouldn't date until I'm 17. You're 17. I know, that's why I told her. But I still said no to date because Mitsuda and Motohama would be sad. Issei's father stood from his seat and approached Issei. My son, how much money do you need? Probably not that much. Issei's father grabbed his shoulders and shook his head. Then he reached into his back pocket and took out his wallet. He handed Issei 20,000 yen. Good luck my boy. I've hung out with friends before pops. His father merely shook his head again and went back to his seat. He sat silently with his hair shadowing his eyes. His mother spoke. Ice, just treat her well and give her a chance. If Mitsuda and Motohama get sad then just talk to them and I'll think they'll understand. Besides, I don't think they'll get sad, just angry. Well, if they get angry then that's okay because then they can just punch me. Oh my sweet Ice. That's how that dinner went. Aside, as Issei was waiting at the post, a young girl in a demon cosplay approached him and handed him a flyer. She smiled and walked away. He read the top of the paper. We'll make your wishes come true. Devils can grant wishes. Or is this a genie devil? Does it come in a bottle? If I rub this piece of paper will it come out? Issei-kun. Yuma was skipping happily towards Issei while waving her arm. Until she reached him and noticed him staring intensely at a devil summoning flyer while rubbing it with his 2 fingers. Issei-kun, what are you doing? Yuma. I'm just rubbing this paper in case a genie comes out. Yuma hopefully assumed that Issei did not know what the paper was. Well, anyway, let's go. Okay. Yuma tightly held Issei's arm between her as they headed off to have fun on their date. Until Issei moved his arm away. What's wrong with Issei-kun? Mama said I can't touch girls without their permission. It's okay. You have my permission. Oh okay. Issei groped one of her. No, not like Issei-kun. Oh okay. Later. Throughout the entire day the two went around everywhere having fun. Even Yuma surprisingly was having a lot of fun. She couldn't help but laugh when someone else was the victim of his stupidity. It was almost like he was messing with everyone. When the waitress at the cafe approached them she ended up having a lot of trouble with their order. Would you like to order one of our specialty sundaes? What's so special about sundae? Well, it has chocolate syrup mix and whipped cream topped with sprinkles and a cherry on top. What? So everybody's selling those because it's Sunday. And aren't you supposed to put that on ice cream? You are. Also, you're wearing a lot of perfume and it hurts my nose. Can you back up a little bit? Yuma felt like she wanted to die from laughter and excused herself to the bathroom. After that, they went to the arcade and played a ton of games. Too many of which Yuma lost because Issei kept making her laugh with his serious comments that he kept saying with a straight face. Like the racing games. Yuma, watch out. You're tailgating that guy. The FFT. You lose. The claw machine. Yuma got the sun-shaped plushie. Why? Because Yuma means sunset, so if you sit in the sun we'll definitely win. The FFT. In dun dun. Lose. It was gut-wrenching to say the least. It was unbelievably funnier when he himself would lose a game because he had to give the AI opponents a chance or else it wasn't fair or some other stupid reason. That wasn't even the worst part. The worst part is that Yuma had a weakness. Her weakness was something Issei realized when they won the sunset plushie. Cute things. Yeah. Yuma was looking at the plushie with stars in her eyes. Do you like it? Why yeah. It's nice. What? No. Nothing. Issei is stupid, but he is also oddly observant. Or at least only when it counts. And sometimes he'll say those observations out loud for no reason which can work against him. And in the end, this weakness ends up working against Yuma because for sometimes, very rarely, stupid equals cute. Anyway, now it's the end of the day. Sunset. Issei is walking alongside Yuma towards a dead empty park. When they reached the fountain she stepped in front of Issei and stopped. I had a lot of fun today, Ice-kun. Me too. But there's a favor I have to ask you. What? She leaned into Issei with a devious smile. Would you die for me? Ah, no thanks. Yuma transformed. That outfit is really dirty. What if a kid walks by? A spear of light was formed in Yuma's hands. Killing you is gonna be the hardest thing I've done in a while. Then just don't do it, you know. Issei said that with his arms crossed as if nothing was happening. Sorry, Ice-kun. This is something that has to be done. Why? Orders? Who ordered that? None of your business. But it is my business. It's about me. Well, unfortunately, it's not the business of any lowly human like you. I'm not lowly. I'm taller and stronger than you. Ah. Issei and Yuma were having an entire back and forth while she was floating with a light spear in her hands and wings sprouting off her back. He was treating it like any normal conversation. This was starting to infuriate Yuma. Or more accurately Rainer. That's enough. I thought it was funny at first, but this is just ridiculous. Just die. Ah. Shin. Eek. The spear Rainer launched at Issei dissipated upon contact with a red gauntlet on Issei's left arm. Rainer froze when she realized what she was looking at. Issei looked up at her with a serious expression. What are you doing? Rainer felt chills up her spine. She had realized her mistake. Originally, when Azazel had given her orders, she was unbelievably happy. She felt honored to receive such an important mission. But she was naive. She thought that she could make him proud by going above and beyond the call of duty and deciding to kill the future threat known as Haidu Issei. At this moment she felt this was the wrong decision. She remembered the words of Azazel. Observe him, I suppose. That should be enough. I don't expect anything too big from it. I just need to confirm it. But I can't help but feel that if something was up I would already have known, you know. I wouldn't expect such an existence to slip right under my nose. But if that is the case, at the very least, remember this. If it is in the current state of being awakened, do not engage in any way whatsoever. I'll do something about it myself. That's a job for the higher-ups, you know. Sigh, what a bother. Rainer was stricken with fear. Her instincts had already told her she was outmatched the moment she laid eyes on the gear. Not to mention, Issei now had lost his usual childish demeanor and now had what looked like a dark facial expression. In actuality, Issei was actually just really confused. The serious expression on his face was just him being lost about what was happening. When he asked what are you doing? He meant it literally. He doesn't really know what's happening. All he knows is that the light spear Yuma threw was an attack. Other than that, he doesn't know what they are doing right now. There's no way. Why you this is I have to report this. Ah wait, hold on. Rainer tried to fly away from Issei in fear, but she ended up being grabbed by Issei by her left leg. He was just trying to stop her to ask her questions, but as it turns out he's pretty heavy and he has a hard time controlling his strength. So as he fell to the ground because of gravity, Rainer could absolutely not resist his strength or support his weight, and as a result, they both went crashing to the ground. Ooon. They were both faces planted into the ground below. It cracked underneath the pressure of their fall, creating a tiny crater. All thanks to Issei practically slamming him and Rainer down in order to keep her from flying away. Moo, ow. Issei tried to speak with his face in the cement. He lifted his face from the cement. Small pebbles fell from his face. His hair was all messed up. He looked at Rainer. She was not moving. Issei began sweating nervously. Ayano Yuma-chan. She was out cold. Ah, SHT. After a bit of silence, Issei looked around to see no one around. He groaned worriedly because of what he was about to do. No choice. He then wrapped his arms around Yuma and flipped her onto his back, carrying her piggyback style. Sigh. Please don't be mad at me, mama. Welsh Dragon Balance Breaker. He donned his armor and flew in the direction his house was in. Using the now dark night sky and trees Ali's house roofs as cover to get there. Haidu household. Issei's mother was happily cooking a nice dinner as she waited for their son to return from his first date. He may not think of it as a date, but that's surely not what the girl thinks. And if she wants to hang out with him again, then that would only make her all the more happy. Her husband was relaxing on the couch watching TV and also in a happy mood that their dumb son could find a girl who likes him. Both parents were very worried about the future of their son. He may do well enough in school, but they have no idea how he would fare as a functioning member of society. He does well in school most likely because those are specific subjects based on practically memory alone, aside from maths. All he had to do was remember what he had been told and regurgitate that information onto a paper. And Issei usually has really good memories. If he doesn't remember something, it's because the information just isn't significant enough or he doesn't care to remember it. So basically, what his parents believe he lacks is pure common sense. But with a girlfriend it may change. She may be able to help him along the way. Someone who's willing to take the extra steps or who he's willing to devote himself enough to try and become a new person for. With a good girlfriend they can feel rest assured. It's their last hope. Unfortunately, they're not sure how the process to get them in a relationship would work. Surely, they and the girlfriend would accept her being in a relationship. But Issei is dumb. So they are afraid that Issei won't realize what type of relationship they have until the day of the wedding. Bomb. Issei's mother noticed some small bumps coming from upstairs. Are they? Honey, did Ice get back already? Not sure. Didn't hear him come in. I'll go check. Mama left the kitchen and headed up the stairs. When she reached her son's door she knocked lightly. Ice. Honey. Did you get home? Bomb Dawn. She heard some bumps and one big thump along with an ow. Backend. The door opened to show Issei with a nervous smile on his face. Why yeah mama? Ah, Ice. When did you get back? Ah, I just got back a little bit ago. His mother picked up on his odd behavior and the fact that he was only poking his head out of the door. Is something up, honey? And no, of course not. Just tired. How did your day go? Ah, it was good. Me and Yuma had a nice time. Oh, good, can I come in? What? Why do you want to come in? Oh, just mommy wants to give you a hug. Issei is a fool. But he is a kind fool. So when he sees things smaller, weaker, cuter, or more helpless than him, he can't help but feel like he wants to do whatever he can for them. So he is completely helpless to his mother's puppy dog eyes. And as a result he flings his door open with his arms stretched wide and a goofy smile on his face. Okay. He immediately brought his mama into a hug. To which she reciprocated. While of course peering over his shoulder and into his room. And she saw. Ice. Yes mama. Why is there a sleeping girl under your sheets? Ah. It's a Dakimakura pillow. No, it isn't Ice. Yes, she was sleepy. Don't do anything to her. Yes mama. After a few minutes Issei heard running around the house. Then a knock on his door. When he opened it his father was standing there. Shadows covering his expression and glasses shining in the darkness. He pushed up his glasses once and handed a box to him. Walk tall, my son. He left with those words. Issei closed his door and sat on the side of the bed, inspecting the box. Pink. Issei, for some reason, was more concerned with the color of the protection rather than what the box contained itself. He also attempted to wear one of them out of the world's strongest curiosity. Rainer shifted. She felt pain all over her body. Especially her head. She groaned and repositioned herself lazily. She noticed that the thing she was laying on was unreasonably comfortable. It felt like a nice bed. Bed? She didn't have a bed. At least not here in the human world. This isn't the church base. They don't have a bed there. It smells nice too. The church smells like SHT. Smells like a natural musk. Musk. And it isn't her own musk. Or anybody else she knows. But man, it smelled good. Inhale. She took a big whiff of the soft thing her head was on. It smelled amazing apparently. The same way food smelled delicious, this soft thing smelled uniquely attractive. It was powerful and kind of stunk oh so slightly. It really was just someone's natural smell. A man. Actually, it kind of smelled familiar. She may have smelled it on her date with Issei. Asp. She whipped up. That's right, Issei. I was on a date with Hai. She looked around the dark room until she noticed something standing on the left of her. Issei was standing there. With only underwear on. And holding an ensemble of wrapped condoms hanging with a long string through them. Ah, don't worry, I think there's enough string to cut for 2 necklaces. What? Ah, sorry. He placed the long ensemble on his desk. Now that I think about it, there probably isn't. Huh. So how's your body? Issei approached the bed. Ah. Rainer stood up on the bed and made a stance to battle. Boy. Issei pointed at Rainer with his left hand and had his serious face on again. She froze and stared at his pointer finger. She imagined the boosted gear and shook with fear. It felt like it was coming closer. Mama says you're not supposed to be standing on the bed. Huh? Can you just sit down? And stop wearing icky stuff in my house. Mama wouldn't like that if she saw it. It took a full 3 minutes of silence for Rainer to process what had been said. She was still in disbelief. After a while Issei sat down on the side of the bed. Humph. Here. Issei tapped the right side of his bed next to him, motioning Rainer to sit. She slowly sat down on the bed next to Issei, keeping a bit of a distance between them. She was on high guard. Though, she knew if he wanted, she wouldn't stand a chance. The reason she was so uneasy. How's your body? It's fine. You're not really hurting anywhere? No. You're lying. And maybe. Lying is bad. I already told you that. Just cause you're a fallen angel doesn't mean you should lie. Where are you hurting? You always knew I was a fallen angel. Eh? What? No, obviously right. Like seriously. I said it before. How could I not know? You weren't even trying to hide it. Rainer only lowered her head in shame. Not only was she disgraced in battle, but she was made a bigger fool than how she was trying to make the actual fool feel. He was right. She wasn't even trying to hide it because she assumed he wouldn't be aware. She didn't even register when he first said he knew. She even felt his strong latent aura around his body, but just fooled herself into believing it wasn't representative of his current ability. How stupid. She let her pride and arrogance get in the way of everything, failed her mission, destroyed any possibility of having the Securite as an ally, and now she was going to die. Are you hungry? It's almost time for breakfast, so can you change? What? Breakfast? Like when you eat in the morning. No, I don't understand what is happening. I am asking you if you want breakfast. Are you serious? Obviously. Why? What do you mean? Issei innocently tilted his head. He was so cute. Rainer couldn't help but think Issei's innocence was absolutely adorable, despite how terrifying the possibility of dying or being a hostage is. Speaking of being a hostage. Am I allowed to leave? Oh no, not yet. Rainer tensed when she heard that. In her mind it was official. She was now hostage. He may have been acting like an idiot, but surely somewhere within him was pure darkness. Is what Rainer thought to herself. In truth, when Issei said that, he literally just meant, you can't leave because we still haven't had breakfast. At the very least, it's better than dying, but as of now she's just nothing but a worthless slave. How pitiful. So what will you do with me? Well, I want you to change first. My parents will do something if they see you in that, so we can't go eat breakfast like that. So can you please change into that other form, Uma-chan? Rainer. No, we don't have any. No, my name is Rainer. Rainer Yuma. What kind of? No, just Rainer. Oh, that's your real name? Yes. Oh okay. Then Rainer changed. Alright. It fell silent. Munnyu. Iyan. Issei's finger was pushing in Rainer's left apple. His whole finger was completely sucked in by her voluptuous flesh and leather. He was just staring at it with wonder. How do you have so much milk if you're not pregnant? BXD. Bing clang. In the dining room of the Haidu household, it was quiet, save for small noises from the clang of utensils. Issei and Rainer are seated next to each other, eating breakfast across from his parents. Until Issei's mother decided to bring up small talk. So Uma-chan, you attend the neighboring academy near Kuo, right? Yes. And what exactly brought you to our son? That was one of my friends told me who he was when I happened to see him on a bridge, and I was attracted by his reputation and his appearance. Really? Well, how did your day? A date together? Yes, it was very fun. I loved spending time with Ice-kun. I see why you decided to stay over. No. I was really tired. I felt like I would pass out soon, so I asked Ice-kun if I could stay over. Since my house is much farther away. I'm sorry if I intruded. No. Of course not. It's great having you here. We just worry that your parents may have a problem with it. No. I already contacted them. They don't really care. Is that so? Issei's mother had a sad face after hearing that. Spare me your sympathy, you filthy human. Rainer thought with disgust. She felt a gaze on her. She turned to her right where Issei was seated next to her. She froze when she saw Issei's eyes burning a hole through her skull. She immediately lowered her head in nervousness. She bit her lip. Does he know what she was thinking? She felt afraid once more. And at the same time she felt the slightest bit aroused, being mentally dominated. There's a school near mine. Is actually what Issei was thinking while staring strongly at Rainer. Yes, well, I'm sorry for troubling you, but as it turns out, either way, I'm afraid I'm going to need a place to stay for a bit. Clang. The parents froze and Issei's mother dropped her utensils. Issei simply made a sound of surprise. But then he even more surprisingly caught on. Yeah, sorry mama, pops. As it turns out, the real reason Rainer's parents don't care is because they kinda don't want her around anymore. So I told her she could stay here. That's not a problem, right? What? Sigh. Rainer sighed at Issei's nonchalant explanation. Of course they're not just gonna accept that idiot. Of course she can stay. Rainer opened her eyes wide only to see both parents weeping endless tears. I can't believe something like that. For such a sweet girl to not have a home. No, I won't allow it. That's right, Kasama. Such a crime shall not go unpunished. Issei's mother was weeping with a napkin to her eyes, while Issei's father cried manly tears behind his glasses. Eh? Rainer was beyond dumbfounded. She didn't even know how to respond. What? No, right. Like, that's a joke, right? You're joking. No one's stupid like that. She turned her head back to Issei again. He just shrugged at her. Oh. The Haidu household is not one of geniuses. Guo Academy. I want to touch some boobs. Issei was currently at school lying on the grass with his two perverted friends. Rainer stayed home with his mom and pop, skipping school, because she still felt exhausted and wanted to take a break from school for a while. In truth, it was only because Rainer assumed Issei didn't want her to go anywhere else as a hostage. Why did she assume this? Well. Issei's room a few hours ago. Okay, Rainer. I'm going to school now. What? You mean you're just gonna leave me with your parents? Yeah, obviously. You said that other schools weren't real. Don't you think that is a bad idea? Why? Well, you're just gonna leave a fallen angel with your parents alone. No. I'm gonna leave my parents alone with you. Yes. You still don't get what's wrong with this? No. I trust you, Rainer. Issei said that with a wide smile on his face. Another misunderstanding took place. Wow, this guy doesn't even consider me a threat. No, that's not it. He knows if I even try to make a move it's over. I can't leave this place because he'll find me and I can't do anything to his parents or even use them because if I do I can't believe it, he's in full control. Rainer felt powerless in her situation. Issei truly was the red dragon of domination. She may have felt oddly comfortable with the idea due to her fallen blood. She also may have been slowly developing a case of Stockholm syndrome. Either way, the result, being that she slightly enjoyed her situation, was the same. Meanwhile, Issei. Too bad she doesn't go to my school. At least I'm not gonna make her wait outside. She can stay here and help mama with chores. I wonder why she even wants to stay longer. Did not at all think beyond what was necessary to function, like usual. Ah, by the way, Rainer. What do your feet look like? Eh? Return to current time. Issei saw a crow as he stared off into the distance. Crow's feet. Issei's mother once said she was worried about developing crow's feet. He immediately started crying because he thought his mama was gonna become a fallen angel. And when mama asked what that meant he just kept crying. In the end, she felt very happy to be called an angel by her sweet son nonetheless. And Issei, from then on, assumed that people could turn into fallen angels and that said beings have actual crow's feet. Thanks to this misunderstanding another new one was created. Because Rainer now believes Issei has a foot fetish. By the way, in case you were wondering, yes, that happened when Issei was very young, he was 14. BXD. Ding dong ding dong 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 ding ding. Classes are now over. And Issei had no after-school activities to look forward to, like he usually does. So he was bored throughout the day. That did not last long. Hiya. Kiba-kun. Many girlish screams were heard near the doorway. Hiya Kiba-kun. Kiba-sama. Look this way Kiba-kun. Please marry me. Through the doorway entered a handsome young man with a bright smile. He waved at some swooning girls, then slowly made his way to Issei's desk. May you be Haidu Issei-kun? May I or can I? Hey. I'm Haidu Issei, yeah. My club president would like to speak to you. Okay. Issei immediately stood up excitedly. It seemed he was so bored that he really wanted some activity to do. Oh. In that case, please follow me. Alright. Kiba led Issei out of the room and the building, while he quickly followed behind. On their way Issei decided to talk. So what's your name? Ah, I'm sorry I didn't introduce myself. My name is Kiba Udo. Kiba huh. Fang. That's really cool. Ah, the translation, yes. Though the kanji for it is different. You really are a pretty boy. Oh. Now that I think about it I think I actually know who you are. Is that so? Yeah. You're the pretty boy my friends are always talking about. Mitsuda and Motohama talk about you all the time. Really? Yeah. They hate you. They say you're a prick. I don't think that though. I think you're alright. Well, I am flattered by Haidu-kun, but to be fair you hardly know anything about me. Ice is okay. And I know, but still. I can tell you're a good person. I know when somebody's bad or good. Plus you smell nice. Even though you're one of them. Thank you. Soon enough, they arrived at the old school building. Once they did, Kiba led Issei inside, up a flight of stairs and past a couple of turns. After that they finally walked down a hallway and stopped at some double doors. We've arrived. Kiba knocked lightly on the door twice. A couple seconds of silence then a response. Come in. Akin. Kiba opened the door for Issei, and the moment he entered he noticed something. First off, an unfamiliar smell. Second, darkness. Third, people. All in that order. There were 2 couches with a coffee table in the middle, a desk ahead of them, a curtain to the right of it, some double doors straight to the right of the room, and finally people. All in that order. Anyway, the couch on the right had a young, petite, white-haired girl eating some sweets, sitting quietly. Ah, the one who kept following him. Kiba walked to the same couch and sat on the other side of it. The desk in the furthest part of the room had a red-headed beauty sitting behind it, along with a black-haired, ponytailed beauty to the right of it. Welcome to Issei. Hey. Issei greeted the girl nonchalantly. Truthfully, he just wanted to get to the thing they were gonna do. The fun thing. Should I assume you know what I have called you for? Yeah. Let's get to it. Issei said that with a competitive smile on his face. This did not work to his advantage. Very well, please have a seat. Issei sat down on the couch opposite Kiba and Kaneko. The questioning started immediately. So first off, Ice-kun. Ice is fine. Very well, Ice. In that case, I want to ask you, where exactly do you stand? I'll take any position really. But I think it's best if I'm alone. Is that so? That makes things easier. So, if one side would be more appealing than all of the others, would you be considerate enough to allow someone to try and convince you to take their side? I mean, yeah. Why not? Good to hear. Does that mean you'd be willing to take our side? Well, I mean, I'd prefer to be alone. Wait, who are we up against? Everyone else. Hahaha. You make it sound fun, but sorry. I don't do the official events, you know. Events? Yeah, you know, the games. Oh. Are you aware of the games as well? What? Yeah, of course I am. I've been asked to play at them like a million times. Really? Your abilities must be exceptional. Who has asked you? Pretty much every team I've played with. Played with? How did you participate in the games? No, I didn't. I helped them train. Oh? I see, interesting. So either way, they got a bit of what they wanted. Yeah, they got a lot better. They all sucked when I started with me. I'm not sure about that. I can practically narrow down a few possibilities of who you may have helped, and that doesn't really give me the impression that we are weak. Maybe, but they were weak for me. I find what you tell me very odd. I find it hard to believe that you would have trained with so many of us for the games. As far as I know, you aren't considered an ally to our side at all. I'm sure I would have known about something like that. At the very least that you were in my territory. What do you mean? You're the one who invited me. What? Both Issei and Riaz looked at each other in confusion. No, I didn't. Yes, you did. You even sent Kiba to get me. Eh? What? What do you think we're talking about? Well, you want me to join your team, right? That's why you sent Kiba to me. Well, yes, but I'm not sure what that has to do with you being in my territory. You invited me here. Ice, what exactly do you think my territory is? This clubroom. Yes, but my territory is not just that. It's this school. It's this whole town. Well, yeah, that's my territory too. It's all of our territory. What? No. It's my territory and mine alone. It's within my jurisdiction and under my supervision. That's really childish and selfish. You have to share what you know. Issei said it straightforwardly, but Riaz was just insulted and confused. Do not get the wrong idea, Ice. Just because you aren't my enemy and a fellow cowhide doesn't mean I will show you leniency. This is my territory and I will do whatever I can to protect it. What does protecting a town have to do with playing your game? You haven't even told me what game yet. What are you talking about? What game are we gonna play? You still haven't told me and I've been here for like 10 minutes. So you think this is a game? What is? The situation. What situation? Our conversation. What are we even talking about? Your camaraderie? I don't know what that word means. Your friendship. You just want to be friends. Yes. Why didn't you just say that in the first place? I wanted to know your intentions. I just wanted to play some damn games or sports or something. Sports. Well, yeah. Isn't that why you called me? Don't you want me to help you out with an upcoming game? What? No. Don't you know what we are? The hockey club ping pong? No. We're the occult research club. What the hell is that? The study of the occult. What does that mean? The supernatural. You mean like ghosts and stuff? No. I mean yes. But no. Don't you know what we are? Don't you know what a sacred gear is? Of course I do. I have one. But do you know what we are, that we aren't human? No, SHT. I could smell you from the entrance. Then why would we talk about sports? Because Kiba said he wanted me to talk to his president. Just like always. You didn't assume that our intentions are different because we're devils. You guys are devils. Yes. Huh. No wonder I didn't recognize your smell. You. Riaz was beyond dumbfounded. No one even knew what was happening. So then what the hell do you guys want? I just said Sai, I want to know your intentions. If you're a threat or an ally. A threat? Yes, as I said, this is my territory and I must do whatever I can to protect it. So I won't accept any threats to this town or its people. Eh? What? What's up with that? I've lived here my whole life and I've protected this town myself. Why the hell would I be a threat? If anything, I should think you're the threat. You haven't been here as long as me. This territory is under my protection. I would never be the threat. Same here. Riaz stared Ice down. She could tell he was being truly sincere. I see, if that's the case, then why are you associating with a fallen angel? Ah, Rainer. She's my new friend, I guess. Friend? So you've allied yourself with the fallen. The atmosphere in the room became tense. Though it didn't affect Issei. No, I just said we're friends. And roommates. So you are roommates? Yeah, she lives with me now. Or she's staying at my house at least. What? Why? Don't you have a family? Yeah, Mom and Pops are at home with her now. Alone? Yeah. What if she kills them? Hahaha. She won't do that. How do you know? Because I trust her. Trust her? Don't you know what she is, a fallen angel? Yes, oh? So that means you can't trust her. To someone like her, you humans are nothing but toys. How do you know that? You don't know anything about her. She's a fallen angel involved in suspicious activity. I know enough to say that she can't be trusted. How does that make you any different? Riaz continued to analyze Issei. He maintained his blank, unreadable expression. Are you protecting her? Well, she's my friend. Not gonna let her get hurt. What exactly are you planning? Nothing. Then what's going on? What do you mean? First, she asked you out on a date, then you said no. Then you changed your mind. You had a date and at the end of it she tried to kill you. Now you're housing and protecting her? I don't understand your intentions. I already told you my intentions. I just want to play some sports or something. All I want to know is if there is any possibility of you doing anything dangerous or catastrophic. And if there is, just know, I will stop you. That's why I said. Why would I do any of that? So you're not plotting anything? No. I'm not a gardener. I'm being serious. So am I. Riaz sighed and rubbed her forehead. She really couldn't read this guy. At the very least, if he wasn't dangerous, then it shouldn't be a problem. But well, at the very least, can you tell us what type of sacred gear you have? Oh yeah. That's fine. Shine. The bright green flash blinded the devils for a quick second. Then when it died down they could only gaze in disbelief. That. It's called the boosted gear. Have you heard of it? All the devils immediately put their guards up and surrounded their master. What? What is it? What's going on? I never imagined you would be this generation Security. This is a problem. Huh? Why? You're too great of an existence to just let sit idly by. Thanks. Looks like I'll have to contact Ani-sama. Okay, well you do that, it's getting late, so I'm going to get home. Issei stood up and turned to leave. Wait. What? Can you come see me again tomorrow? What for? An interrogation. Alright. But that Issei turned and left the room, leaving only the club members alone. Akin. You think he's dangerous, but you? I don't know, Kiba. I can't read him at all. We'll have to see. HM. Issei was happily marching back to his home. Man, I wonder what food they'll have. For some reason, Issei believed an interrogation was similar to a potluck. Hi to household. I'm home. Issei announced his arrival from the doorway. Welcome home. Welcome home. Two voices greeted him from the kitchen. His mother and his fake girlfriend. However, his girlfriend's voice was deeper than usual. Why does Yuma sound like Rainer? He walked into the living area seeing his dad watching TV. Hey Pops. Hey son. Welcome home, sweetie. Hey mama. Issei greeted his father, then his mother walked out from the kitchen in an apron and greeted him as well. Where's Ryuma? Rainer-chan is helping me cook. Rainer-chan. Yes, Rainer, Yuma, right. Yeah, wait, cooking. Issei peered into the kitchen and saw Rainer at the stove with some of his mother's old casual clothes from when she was young and a pink apron. Her appearance was more mature than Yuma and she looked on with a normal blank expression rather than the playful one. Why does Yuma look like Rainer? Hey, Ice-kun. Rainer just casually greeted Issei. Ray, can I talk to you really quick? Rainer took off the apron and followed Issei into a hallway. Meanwhile, Issei's father and mother began to gossip. Oh. Did you hear that, darling? He called her Ray. That must be his cute nickname for her. Yes, Kasama. We may just have hope as grandparents yet. Apparently, Issei had finished Rainer's name a little too quietly. What is Issei? We're you Rainer and not Yuma. Oh, that. Well, I got tired of holding up the axe so I went upstairs and came back down like this. They seemed weirded out at first, but then I just told them I took off my makeup. But you're taller. She just shrugged. Okay then. As long as they don't question it. So, were you cooking? She shrugged again. Your mom just asked me to help out. Didn't have anything else to do. Besides, it was kinda interesting. Well, I talked to the devils today. What? Ow. Issei covered his ears since Rainer screamed right into it. She covered her mouth and began whispering. Why did you meet with them? I don't know. They just wanted to talk to me. About what? I don't know. They said a bunch of stuff about me being dangerous or my friendship with you. I just told myself I wanted to play sports. They let me go after that, but they want to talk again tomorrow. She put a hand up to her mouth and started thinking before she became confused once more. And they wanted to assess how much of a threat you were, a bit like us, but a friendship. Well, yeah, we're friends. Are you joking? No. Is that what you told the devils? Yeah. Why? They're going to kill us. No, they're not. As long as we don't do anything, we're fine. You think they care about that? They're devils. I'm their natural enemy. They'll kill me regardless. What? No, they won't. They're nice devils. Besides, I wouldn't let them touch you. Eh? Well, good. Rainer simply averted her gaze and crossed her arms. Issei just tilted his head cutely, much to Rainer's annoyance. Anyway, come and eat dinner. It's almost ready. Oh boy. Rainer's cooking. I wonder what it tastes like. Delicious, of course. But I haven't tasted it yet. Issei and Rainer walked back into the dining room and had their dinner. After that was bedtime. And it went without saying that Rainer and Issei slept together. It's not really that anybody wanted them to. It's just that they did it once already, so Rainer just assumed the case would stay the same. And nobody questioned it. Rainer also attempted to test whether Issei would notice anything in his sleep or not by spawning a needle of light into the palm of her hand. He immediately noticed and snorted awake lazily till she wished it away, and he fell asleep immediately after. She felt afraid of him once more. Even in his sleep she is no match. She turned on her side and lay there completely tense and unable to fall asleep. Until of course Issei put his arms around her in his sleep, snoring right into her ears. She surprisingly fell asleep within a few minutes, albeit with a deadpan expression. Within the Haidu household, two young adolescents were both sleeping in one bed, closely snuggled together. One of them, the beautiful female, was peacefully nuzzled into the chest of another person. The second person, a dopey-looking boy, was snoring loudly with all of his limbs sprawled outward on the bed. Every time he took a breath, he snored loudly with a giant comical bubble coming out of his nose, increasing and decreasing in size every time he inhaled or exhaled. The adolescents were quietly sleeping until beep beep beep. The girl unpleasantly turned in her sleep, attempting to nuzzle further into the boy in hopes of eliminating the sound. Snore. The boy continued to snore. Beep beep beep. The girl began to toss and turn, struggling to stay fully asleep. Her grip on the boy became tighter and tighter. Soon enough her nails began cutting his skin. Snore. He continued to snore. Apparently he was a heavy sleeper. That must be the reason his mother comes to wake him up despite the alarm. The girl started getting very angry. Beep beep beep. Snore. N. Beep beep beep. Snore. N. Beep beep. Snore. N. Knock knock. Ice, Ray-chan, time to wake up UTWO. Immediately after the knock was heard, the girl whipped up violently. Shut up. EZZZT. And destroyed the alarm clock with her bare hands. She then stood on the bed and transformed into her S&M outfit and in a bout of rage, spawned a whip that went along with her attire and whipped the boy straight on his face. Wake up. Whip. Ow. Ice. Backen. The door slammed open. After Issei was whipped by Rainer, he immediately woke up and held onto his red cheek. His shriek of pain prompted his mother to check on him, which only led everyone to freeze after his mother witnessed a scene of her son being whipped by his S&M girlfriend with scratches on his bare fine chest early in the morning. There was also an ensemble of condoms laying on Issei's desk. Excuse me. His mother slowly exited the room and shut the door. Backen. Issei pointed at Rainer. I told you mama doesn't like it when you stand on the bed. BREAKFAST. Clang ding. Another quiet breakfast with only the sound of utensils being used. Issei's mother and girlfriend were eating silently, meanwhile Issei's father was sitting with his hands intertwined and darkness covering his face aside from his glasses which were shining. Issei himself was stuffing his face casually. "Ice honey, you can stay home for today if you'd like." My mood is to chat, why would I do that? "Well, to spend some time with your guy with Rainer-chan." Gulp. "But I already spent the whole night with her." Ding. Issei's mother dropped her utensils and froze. Rainer simply stopped moving altogether. "Why yes, I suppose you did." Issei continued eating normally. Issei's mother awkwardly followed. Rainer and his father were just sitting still. "Oh, I gotta get to school." Issei stood up and picked up his food to take with him and eat on the way. His mother finally snapped out of it and spoke out to him. "Hey? Ice, you still have over an hour, what's the rush? You even had the alarm set earlier." Yeah, I have a club that needs to meet with me this morning before school, so I have to go now to be early." Rainer snapped out of her stupor as well. "Was it the devils?" She stood up. "You shouldn't go." Why not?" "You know why. But it would be rude to not go. What will they think?" "Even so, at least are you going to tell them about me?" They already know." Rainer's face held an expression of worry. If they get here I won't be able to do anything, so your family." They won't do anything like that." "How do you know?" "Because I won't let them." Rainer looked at Issei. He just had his normal blank expression on. "So then what about me? They'll have me follow somewhere and you'll be okay too." How would you know?" "Because I'll protect you." "Wah." Issei's comment took Rhea aback. She whipped her head at Issei and stared him down. She was initially trying to read him, but in the end she ended up being drawn into his gaze. He still retained the boring blank childish expression that looked like he was curious all the time. Though, somehow, the more she looked into his eyes the more she felt reassured. As if his warm yellow eyes and soft words together were a calming agent. Almost like he was intentionally trying to ease her nerves. This was the longest they had ever maintained eye contact. Rainer's thoughts had practically grinded to a halt as she simply fell into Issei's gaze. Why would Rainer face me in a staring contest if she keeps blinking? Unfortunately, Issei's stupidity knows no bounds. "You really should stay in ice." No, sorry mama. I'm going." Issei realized and started to walk out of the house with his food. "Akin." "Sweetie," he took the plate with high. "RRRR. Akin." Issei's father had already followed suit. Luckily for him, since Issei had food he wasn't going to be running anywhere. "Son." Pops. Is it the plate? I just realized. Rip. Issei's father grabbed a hold of his shoulders. "My son, will you protect that girl no matter what?" Yeah, I said that already." "Do you believe she is the one?" "The one what?" "The one and only." "Well yeah, there's many fallen angels, but there's only one Rainer." "Do you still have the protection?" "Yeah, I have my armor." Issei's father nodded at him and turned away. Pops, what about the plate?" His father merely lifted his hand to stop him and shook his head. Then he turned and walked into the house. "Akin." Issei shrugged and walked to school while eating his breakfast. "Guo Academy." Issei arrived outside of the occult research club door and knocked. Knock knock. After a few seconds of silence. "Come in." Riaz called him from within and he opened the door. The day before they had arranged to meet up after school, but then Issei received a message from Riaz on his phone about having him come before school instead. He doesn't know how she got his number, but he shrugged it off because they're devils. He also said that he doesn't plan on missing any classes, so if the bell rings he's leaving. To which she did not respond. "Akin." He entered the room casually and noticed something. Literally everybody was here. "Good morning, Ice. You're right on time." Riaz greeted him from her desk. Issei looked around. All the devils were here. All of them. Riaz people and more. If he remembered correctly, the short black-haired girl was from the student council. She was the president for 2 years. He doesn't know, but he definitely helped her last year with some festival events when they were understaffed. So then that means all the other devils are her team. They all have the student council bands on their sleeves. Soon enough, Issei felt something coming. Shine. The bright magic circle shined red throughout the clubroom. When the light died down, 2 people emerged. One was a beautiful mature woman with silver hair and a French maid's uniform on. The other was a handsome man with crimson hair just as long and red as Riaz. They both were powerful and screamed elegance. The moment they stepped out everyone in the room kneeled. "Welcome, Ani-sama." "Good morning Riaz, everyone. It's nice to see you." The man motioned everyone to rise with a kind smile on his face. A lavish chair was prepared for him to sit on from in front of the desk. Meanwhile another chair was placed across the table from the lavish one. The man sat down in the chair with his hands in his lap and greeted Issei. I assume you are Haidu Issei, correct? Yeah. Nice to meet you. I am the Mau Surzich's Lucifer, one of the 4 Satans, devil king of the underworld, and older brother of Ria's Gremory. The room fell silent. Issei seemed like he was thinking seriously about something. Ah. He snapped his fingers. Then he pointed straight at Surzich's. One of the boys on the council's side flinched, but his president placed a hand on his shoulder to ease him. Oni-sama. Ani equals older brother. Oni equals demon. They are pronounced exactly the same. You are correct, Haidu Issei-kun. Surzich's light-heartedly laughed at Issei's joke. Joke. Please, have a seat. Surzich's motioned for Issei to sit in the chair across the table. Issei sat down in it and placed his plate in his lap. Surzich's raised an interesting brow. May I ask, why do you carry a plate with you? Ah, I ate breakfast on the way here. Oh, is that so? Let me apologize for that. I did not know you felt so pressured to rush yourself. If I had known that, I would have asked Rias to prepare some food. Wait, you mean there's no food here? Surzich's tilted his head to Issei's question. No, I do not believe so. What? No way. What kind of interrogation is this? Interrogation? Yeah. What the hell kind of interrogation doesn't have food? Oh, all of them. Where the hell do you live? The underworld. The underworld sucks. Ha. Surzich's couldn't help but laugh at what was happening. After dealing with so many different types of people, he had never dealt with one like this. He's being completely honest. Yet he says such ridiculous things. Is this the new security? Ahem. Excuse me. Surzich's was attempting to recover from his laughing fit while Issei just sat there looking at him like he was the weirdo. Everyone else in the room was dumbstruck or just on edge. Was it an act? Is he just playing the fool? The orc members were more on guard than anything. He had to be dangerous. The most conflicted of all was Sona Citri. She was becoming unbelievably confused and frustrated. She couldn't read him. Not one bit. Not a single thing he said seemed genuine, yet it sounded like he meant it. He couldn't have been trying to fool them, could he? His blank expression was an absolute poker face. Not to mention, his words were and seemed illogical. It doesn't make sense. Of course, she was just overcalculating things. In the end, Issei was so stupid that whenever he wasn't saying something, his head was completely empty. Now, Haidu Issei. Ice is fine. Very well, Ice-kun. Surzich's finally put on his serious expression. According to my sister, you are the security. Surzich's stared Issei down with an intimidating gaze. Surely, anyone who wasn't a fool would know just how far above this monster was from others. Yeah. Casual response. Issei is a fool. I see. I have also been informed that you have allied yourself with the fallen angels. Not really. Was my information incorrect? Yeah, it's only one. One? Yeah, only Rainer. I don't know any other ones. Only one? You mean to tell me you are only allied with one fallen angel? Yeah, she's my only fallen angel friend. I don't meet any others. This is the only fallen you've encountered before. No, I met one a long time ago, but we weren't friends. Surzich's took note of Issei's words. You were attacked. Yeah, I think so. Interesting. How exactly did you ally yourself with only one fallen? Surely, she must have some other connections. If you want me to be completely honest with you, I believe her motive is to recruit you to their side. Doesn't seem like it. She doesn't have any friends. Are you sure about that? Well, not really. She doesn't ever leave my house. Surzich's perked his head up slightly. He came on short notice, so he doesn't know of a lot that Rias does. Your home? You are housing her? Yeah. She sleeps with me and everything. If I am correct, you are human, with a human family. Yeah, my parents are at the house with her. Surzich's felt as if he was finally getting an idea of the situation. She's selling herself to him. He's most likely to join the side that his friend Amor is allied with, since I don't see any signs of manipulation magic. She's fooling him and earning his trust. We'll have to do some negotiating. Is what Surzich's thought to himself. I see. Do you trust her? Yeah, why not? She's my friend. Is that so? So in that case, does that mean you don't consider yourself in alliance with the fallen? Yeah, I don't know any of them. Except for Rainer. Well, in that case, what exactly is she doing here, that friend of yours? Oh, I don't know. When I first met her, she asked me out on a date. But I said no. Then we started hanging out. Then she started staying in my house. A strange turn of events. Yeah. Surzich's sat there trying to read Issei's blank expression. Even with all the people he has worked with, he still can't get a beat on him. He truly is unreadable. Then he had a thought. This fallen. Rainer. Issei interrupted Surzich's with no regard for the tension. This Rainer. She approached you? Yeah. Have you ever seen her before? Nope. I see, so her job was indeed to recruit him. Here is my main question. Do you plan to ally yourself with the fallen angels in the coming future? No. Issei said it quickly and clearly. It felt like the tension in the room decreased by an insane amount. Though, Issei never felt any of it. I see, that's good to hear. I don't plan on becoming allies with any of you. Chills. Just like that, the tension in the room returned, worse. The weaker devils felt chills run up and down their backs with Issei's statement. Surzich's was completely serious now, with an almost dark expression on his face. What is it exactly that you mean by that, Securite? Surzich's lost his casual tone and was speaking firmly with his hands resting on his knees, in front of his face. An attitude that suggested dominance. Just what I said. I can't be allies with any of you. The atmosphere became heavier. And why exactly is that? As if I do that, everybody else will get mad at me. Issei said that with a tone that sounded like a child who was avoiding being reprimanded by his parents. Pardon? Disundit. What? What? No, what I meant was, what do you mean by they'll get mad at you? Well, if I go with the fallen, you guys will get mad at me. If I go with you, the angels will get mad at me. If I go with the angels, the fallen will get mad at me. Everybody else will be mad. So I can't pick a side. Yes, I suppose that is true, but not choosing a side at this point, something like that is impossible. Every side will either mark you a target or a potential recruit, and you will constantly be sought after. Your family won't be safe. I can protect them. I'm not sure you can. Who will they send? Most likely, their best. Their leaders. Likely to recruit, but to exterminate you, no. But some of their best fighters. Oh, then I'll be fine. How can you be so sure? I fought a lot of strong guys before. A pretty strong fallen too. He said he was a leader. The leader, did you happen to get his name? Yeah, Barakiel or Barakute or something. Everyone in the room went stiff. The main one being a certain black-haired girl who clenched her fists tightly. Surzich's kept his calm demeanor along with Grafia, but now he was more alert. No, I do say. Surzich's took Issei's attention, who was thinking back, and brought it to him. Why was it that you fought this leader? Issei shrugged. Just because. You happened to encounter him, or did you go looking for him? Nah, I just ran into him. How did it happen? Well, I thought he was strong, so I wanted to spar with him. He thought I was an enemy, so it worked out. But I got completely beat up. In the end, I told him I wasn't his enemy and we stopped fighting. Turns out he was really sad at the time cause he lost his family or something. He was a really sad guy. Felt bad for him. The black-haired girl in the corner visibly flinched and held her head down. Her red-headed best friend next to her placed a reassuring hand on her shoulder. But you know, he gave me this really nasty gash. Issei said that as he lifted his shirt and revealed his perfectly sculpted body. The largest scar that ran up the right side of his chest and touched the bottom of his chin was unbelievably apparent compared to all the other scars on his body. It looked like an old singular serious burn mark. It was obvious it was caused by holy light. More than that, a few more calculative people in the room, including Surzich's, began contemplating Issei's words a bit further until they stumbled upon something. Hold on, Ice-kun, you went up against that fallen angel leader over 7 years ago. Yeah, I was like 9 years old at the time. You fought a cadre class fallen angel at the age of 9. With what? With my balance breaker. You unlocked balance breaker at the age of 9. No. I unlocked it when I was 8. So you unlocked the boosted gears balance breaker at the age of 8 as a human boy? Yeah, obviously. I'm human. I find that quite unbelievable, to be honest with you. Issei shrugged. I also fought a guy named Susanoo who was way stronger, but that was when I was like 14 or 15. And he kicked my ass. Susanoo, you? Hey, wait a minute. Issei suddenly became skeptical. He pointed at Surzich's. How did you know how old I was when I fought that Barakiel dude? Surzich's began thinking worriedly. That's right. I said it without thinking. I was too focused on his age rather than why I knew it. Moi, does that mean? Issei's finger slowly pointed itself towards Ria's general direction, where Akeno Himejima was standing. The two girls immediately flinched. The Surzich's became suspicious. Could it be, did he put all the pieces together? Did Barakiel say it himself? Or was it her aura? Her smell? I don't know the extent of his abilities, but could it be? You're a stalker. The woman Issei was pointing at was Kaneko. Surzich's, or more accurately, everyone had no words. After a few more seconds of silence, Surzich's stood up. Ice-kun, I don't suppose we could ask you to join our side then? Nah. I'd rather be friends with everyone. If not, no one. But I'm not gonna hurt anyone who doesn't hurt me. And I'll help people who are in trouble. Yufufufu. I see. Very well then. Surziches walked to his sister Ria's in the corner of the room. Well, that's all I have to say then. I assume you can handle the rest then. Yes. Surziches began to walk away to another side of the room, his maid followed. Well then, Ice-kun, I bid you farewell. Hopefully we can meet under better circumstances next time. Maybe even dinner. At the least there will be food then. Hell yeah. Ahahaha. I'll be looking forward to it then. Goodbye. Shine. Surzich's magic circle shined and removed them from the room, leaving only the silent students behind. Shine. Surzich's Sama, you do not believe that the boy will become a threat to your sister's safety. The French maid known as Grafia asked Surziches once they arrived in a certain room in the underworld. Don't worry about the Grafia. That boy is surely dangerous. But that type of person will never become a threat. Not to us, at least. Is that so? It was still silent in the clubroom. Well, I'm gonna get going now. School is gonna start in a half hour and I might as well help out the kendo club with their morning setup or something. Issei stood from his chair and picked his bag, placed the plate inside and began to walk towards the door. Wait. Rias called out to him. He stopped. What? Would you consider joining the occult research club? For what? It's a meeting place we use to discuss devil activities. At the very least, if you're not an ally of the devils, then can we consider you an ally of this territory? Yeah, sure. Then it would be best for you to join this club. This time it was the black-haired girl, Sona Citri, who spoke. However, Issei scratched the back of his neck. I don't know about that. I help clubs out every now and then. So there are times before and after school when I'm busy. Issei said that unsure of himself, but Rias responded positively. Well, that's alright. I'm sure you're not busy every day, so you can just come in then. Plus, you can use it as an excuse to skip classes. Issei turned to her fully and had a stern look on his face. Skipping class is bad. He looked like a child saying no. Ah, that's alright. You don't have to skip class. I was just saying. So what do you think? Will you join? It'll give you something to do when you're bored. Weekdays and weekends. Do you have games? Well, we do have a couple. If we don't, we can certainly get some. What about food? Yes. Alright then. Great. In that case, come whenever you aren't busy. And message me when you want to come off school days. Okay. Issei turned back and walked to the door. Oh, and one more thing. He turned back with the door open. Bring that fallen angel here when you can. I would like to simply speak with her. He nodded and exited the room. Akin. Bakeno, remind me to get a fridge and an extra pantry for the commodities room next door and a TV for this room if need be. Yes, but what shall we do about that fallen? For now, nothing. We'll let Ice bring her to us and evaluate her. If her presence here is of no consequence, then we leave her be with him. If not, we'll see. For now I will trust Oni-sa Surziches-sama's judgment. Alright, Yufufufu, why not call him Oni-sama, but you? BXD. 9 hours later, Haidu household. Issei was back in his house doing some club activities after school. Issei just finished dinner and was washing dishes next to Rainer while his parents rested on the couch. Rainer suggested that she and Issei wash them as thanks. Though, she had an ulterior motive. She began to speak quietly to Issei. What did the devils say? Oh, they just gave me a dumb interrogation. Why isn't there food? Who cares about that? Didn't they ask you everything last time? What did they ask you this time? Well, he asked me less. A lot about you though. And whether I'll join them or not. Yeah, he was Ria's senpai's older brother. The mayor or something. DKKK. Well, what's wrong, Rainer-chan? Ice. And nothing, Aka-sama mother. We're fine. I just broke a plate. I'm sorry. Ah, no, it's okay. As long as you're alright. Rainer and Issei's mother communicated to each other from their respective positions loudly. Though, the kitchen is in view of the living room, the sink where they were washing dishes was a bit too much to the left of the stove to see. Rainer took a breath. But it was obvious that she was unbelievably nervous. Issei, you mean to tell me that you met Mao? Ria's, as in Ria's Gremory high-class devil younger sibling of the Mao Lucifer. Yeah, his name was Surziches. Rainer felt too weak to stand. She fell to her knees, breathing heavily. I'm going to die, I am such a fool. She spoke in true fear and despair. Her body was shaking. Soon enough. Drip drip. Tears began to slowly fall down her face. She felt truly afraid. Truly alone. I don't want to die. Drip. She felt Issei's hands on her shoulders. Then. Humph. He embraced her. Please don't cry. Eh? You aren't going to die, so please don't cry. What? But I will protect you. I will always protect you. So please don't be scared. Please don't cry. He spoke in a voice similar to a child. Like if he was a young boy trying to comfort his saddened mother. I am a fallen angel, I am your enemy, I deceived you, I tried to kill you. But you didn't. But I planned it and I went against my orders to kill you, I am. It's okay. I'm okay right now, so it doesn't matter. I trust Rainer. Mama and Pops trust Rainer. Rainer is my family. So I will always protect you. Rainer could only lay still in Issei's embrace as tears streamed down her face. She felt so calm. So secure. She felt wanted. I sniff. Rip. She lifted her arms and embraced Issei wholeheartedly. When she did, she felt a filling in her chest. She felt whole. They sat there in silence, embracing each other. She could smell his scent on his neck. His body was large and strong and eased her nerves. She could feel his calm heartbeat against her chest. She could hear his slow breathing on the back of her neck. Silence. Until. Ka. The sound of a camera shutter. And whispering. You idiot, I told you to record. Ah, I didn't know which setting it was on. Rainer slowly turned her head and saw Issei's parents peering from the corner with a camera. His mother with a deep blush and stars in her eyes. His father struggled with the camera in his hands. Issei let go of Rainer and turned to see his parents. Ah, Pops. That's the wrong camera. That one only takes pictures. It doesn't record. Ah, damn. Is that so? Issei's father smacked the top of his forehead in frustration. Rainer could only sit there dumbfounded. Until it finally set in. Www. She began stuttering violently with a fuming red face as she turned her head towards Issei. He only tilted his head innocently. Ah. Rainer immediately stood and ran past Issei's parents, up the stairs, and to Issei's room. Shutting and locking the door behind her. Palm. You see, idiot, you made her run. Slap. Ow. It isn't my fault. You bought this camera. Backin'. Yes, but you could have at least turned off the flash. Dick. Yes, well, it was your idea. Next time you use the camera, why don't ya? Issei's parents began to argue childishly while the sounds of Rainer running and locking herself in the room were in the background. 40 minutes later. Knock knock. Rainer. Can you let me in? I want to sleep too, you know. Issei knocked on his door waiting for a response. He did not receive one. Sigh. He gave up and sat down next to the door with his usual blank expression. Then the sound of the door. Dick. Creak. The door unlocked and was left slightly ajar. Issei peered in before entering. He saw Rainer covering herself in the blanket. He closed the door behind him and approached the bed. Are you asleep? A stupid question to ask. But she nodded nonetheless. Okay. Rather than laying in bed, Issei sat on the floor against the bed. He sat there in silence. Tug. He felt it tugging at his shirt. He looked to his left shoulder and saw Rainer's hand reaching from under the covers pulling at his shirt. Ah. He got up and slid into the covers on the bed, pulling them up to his neck. Rustle. The bulge in the covers slowly grew near him until he could Rainer from under, laying on his chest. Night. And with that, they fell asleep. Thanks for watching this video. If you really enjoy this video, like, subscribe, and comment down below, and turn on that bell notification. Don't forget to support and follow the NOSFERATU 869 for writing that awesome fanfic, and also make sure to comment on this story link in the description. See you in the next video. Goodbye.